When it comes to motorcycle upgrades, many people immediately think of loud exhausts, flashy LED lights, or decals that make the bike stand out in the street. But the truth is completely the opposite. The upgrades that create the biggest improvement in riding experience are often not flashy, not noisy, and hardly noticed by anyone. They quietly sit on the bike, never showing off, yet they make every ride safer, smoother, and so much easier to live with. Today's video is for those who want real improvement, not to show off, but to ride smarter. These are 10 secret upgrades that most riders overlook. But once you use them, you'll find yourself asking, why didn't I do this sooner? Number 1. Auxiliary fuse block. If you've ever seen someone running a phone charger, GPS, heated grips, and auxiliary lights all tapped into the exact same battery terminal, you'll understand why an auxiliary fuse block is called the savior of the electrical system. Wires everywhere, temporary twists, exposed copper here, electrical tape there, just one tiny short can turn the whole setup into a nightmare, both hard to diagnose and dangerously unpredictable. An auxiliary fuse block solves this entire mess with one simple principle: gather all accessories into one central point. From the battery, you run only a single power feed into the fuse block. Every accessory, from phone chargers and GPS units to action cameras and auxiliary lights, gets its own individual fuse. If one device fails, everything else still works normally, and you don't have to tear the bike apart looking for which wire is slowly melting. Some fuse blocks are even smart enough to provide power only when the ignition is on. That means you can't accidentally leave an accessory running and drain your battery overnight, something many riders have experienced at least once. Clean, organized, easy to maintain, and completely removable when selling the bike without leaving behind a mess of wires. This is exactly the kind of mod that doesn't show off, but makes the motorcycle more mature, safer, and properly engineered from day one. Number 2. Brake light modulator. If you've ever been stopped at a red light, heard a sudden screech of brakes behind you, and turned around in shock, you already understand why a brake light modulator is one of the cheapest yet most life-saving upgrades. The harsh reality is that most car drivers do not pay attention to motorcycles. They're looking at their phones, talking to kids in the back seat, or simply zoning out. And a steady, dim, low-mounted brake light is sometimes not enough to snap them back to reality. A brake light modulator changes that with one simple trick. When you hit the brakes, the rear light flashes rapidly for about 1 to 2 seconds before switching to a normal, solid glow. That flash works like a loud knock on the door, instantly grabbing the driver's attention. Many studies show that flashing brake lights significantly reduce rear-end collisions, especially at night or in rainy conditions. Installation is extremely easy. Most units simply plug into the brake light wiring in a true plug-and-play manner. Some versions even let you adjust the flash pattern if you want it more subtle or more noticeable. Most states in the United States allow a brief flash before a solid brake light, but you should still check local regulations to be sure. Number 3. Bar end turn signals. Most riders accept the stock turn signals as a default necessity: big plastic pods sticking out on both sides and easily broken with just a light tip-over in a parking lot. Nobody thinks much about them until they snap. But there is a much smarter option: bar end turn signals, indicators mounted at the ends of the handlebars. The idea sounds simple, but the effectiveness goes far beyond expectations. When the turn signals sit at the bar ends, the light is positioned right at the eye level of most car drivers. It shines directly into their peripheral vision, the part of human sight that reacts fastest to motion and flashing light. This dramatically increases the chance that others notice you are signaling a turn, especially in dense city traffic or when riding among taller vehicles. For naked bikes, cafe racers, or scramblers, bar-end signals also clean up the front end, eliminating bulky stock indicators and giving the bike a tidy, modern look. Some models even integrate running lights, adding extra safety during night riding. Installation is usually plug-and-play, though some setups may require resistors when switching from halogen to LED. And best of all, because they sit in a spot that rarely gets bumped, they are far more durable than stock turn signals. Number 4. Horn upgrade. If you've ever pressed your horn while a car started drifting into your lane and realized the sound coming out was no stronger than a polite suggestion, you already understand why upgrading the horn is one of the most powerful small mods you can make. Stock motorcycle horns are designed to meet regulations, not to get attention in real traffic. They're too soft, too tiny, and sometimes sound like they belong in a circus tent. An upgraded horn, especially compact air horns like the Denali Sound Bomb or Stiebel Nautilus, can produce more than 120 decibels, louder than many cars. That's enough noise to snap a distracted phone-using driver back to reality or stop someone from casually pushing you toward the curb. The great thing is, you don't need a giant air horn setup. Many compact plug-and-play horns deliver double or triple the volume of the stock unit. Just choose the right model, and you won't need to run new wiring or install a complex relay. Upgrading your horn isn't about making noise. It's about being heard and being respected on the road. When a car begins changing lanes without checking the mirror, a strong horn blast might be the only thing keeping you from having to brake hard. It's a cheap upgrade, works instantly, and gives you real confidence every time you ride in everyday traffic. Number 5. Adjustable clutch and brake levers. There's a simple truth many riders overlook. The stock clutch and brake levers on your bike were almost certainly not designed for you. They're built to fit the average hand size, a concept that doesn't actually exist in real life. Some riders have large hands, some have small hands, some wear thick gloves, some ride barehanded, yet everyone is expected to use the same stiff, fixed-position levers. That's why upgrading to adjustable clutch and brake levers can make such a huge difference. With just a single dial or click of adjustment, you can change the distance between the lever and the grip, tune the bite point of the brake, or make the clutch engagement smoother. The result is that every input becomes more natural. No more stretching your fingers, no more awkward reaching, and no more fatigue on long rides. This upgrade doesn't just add comfort, it boosts safety. When your hand isn't strained, you react faster, brake more precisely, and shift more smoothly. For riders who tackle mountain passes or ride sporty, quality levers can also reduce arm pump, one of the biggest performance killers. Many lever designs can even fold inward during a fall. Preventing breakage installation is simple, requiring only basic tools. And if you enjoy style mods, you can pick colors that match your personal look. Number 6. Front fork preload adjuster. Many riders hear the words suspension tuning and immediately think of expensive upgrades, removing the forks, or taking the bike to a professional shop. But in reality, you can improve your ride feel with one small, inexpensive, and extremely effective upgrade: a front fork preload adjuster. Preload determines how much the front end compresses when you sit on the bike. If you are heavier than what the manufacturer designed for, The forks will dive excessively every time you brake. If you are lighter, the front becomes floaty and unstable when cornering. With just a twist of a small adjuster, you can correct these differences without removing the forks or replacing the springs. What's interesting is that most mainstream motorcycles do not come with preload adjusters from the factory. However, you can simply replace the fork caps with aftermarket ones that include a built-in adjuster knob, and the entire installation often takes only a few minutes. As soon as you finish adjusting, the difference is obvious. Less nosedive during hard braking, more stability when cornering, and reduced fatigue from dealing with suspension that's either too soft or too stiff. When carrying luggage or riding two up, you can even make quick adjustments to keep the bike perfectly balanced. Just one small twist is enough to make the motorcycle more precise, better matched to your body weight, and far more confidence-inspiring on every ride. This is one of those mods that few riders know about, yet its value far exceeds the money spent. Number 7. Helmet Quick Release Buckle. If you've ever stood at a gas station, pulling off your helmet in the scorching heat just to wrestle with a stubborn pair of D-rings, you already understand why a quick-release helmet buckle is considered a small upgrade that changes your life. By so many riders, D-rings are safe and proven, but they are extremely inconvenient when you're wearing gloves, when it's dark, or when you're in a hurry. A quick-release buckle solves this problem in the simplest way. One click to lock, one light pull to open. No fumbling, no threading straps through metal rings, no taking off your gloves, just to remove your helmet. You simply replace the end of the chin strap with the new buckle, and from that moment on, the whole process takes about 2 seconds. Many riders once worried about safety, but in reality, plenty of quick-release buckles meet DOT or ECE standards using stainless steel or high-grade polymer. Some helmet manufacturers in Europe and Asia even equip quick-release systems from the factory, proving that this technology has been well tested for years. The benefits become obvious after just 1 week of use. Faster, more convenient, and easy to operate even with thick gloves. Fuel stops, red lights, and short breaks all become noticeably simpler, and most importantly, you no longer have to struggle with D-rings in the dark. Number 8. Speed bleeders. Brake bleeding is supposed to be simple maintenance, yet it often turns into a frustrating chore. You normally need another person to squeeze the brake lever in the right rhythm, time the open-close sequence of the bleeder screw perfectly, and hope no air sneaks back into the system. One tiny mistake can make the brakes spongy, soft, or weak. All of that hassle disappears the moment you use speed bleeders. A speed bleeder is essentially a bleeder screw with a built-in one-way valve. When you open the screw and squeeze the brake lever, fluid flows out, but air is completely prevented from going back in. All you do is open the screw, pump the lever a few times, watch the fluid come out smoothly, then tighten it back up. No assistant needed, no timing to get right, and no risk of drawing air back into the system. For anyone who does their own maintenance at home, speed bleeders save a huge amount of time and effort. Some versions even come pre-coated with thread sealant and include protective caps for extra durability. And the price is extremely reasonable, often under $20 for a pair, far cheaper than paying a shop to bleed your brakes every year. Number 9. Hidden helmet lock. Almost every rider has faced the same awkward situation. You stop the bike, take off your helmet, and suddenly have no idea what to do with it. Carrying it around is bulky and annoying. Leaving it on the seat means one gust of wind can knock it to the ground, and hanging it on the mirror is anything but secure. That's why a hidden helmet lock is one of the most practical upgrades that few riders ever think about. A hidden helmet lock is usually mounted in discreet places such as under the subframe, beside the license plate bracket, or on a secondary frame tube. This placement secures the helmet firmly without affecting the bike's appearance. Some versions use a key, a combination dial, or even a retractable cable that threads through the chin strap or inner hardware. The convenience of this mod comes from the fact that you use it every single day. Just park, slip the strap into the lock, click it shut, and you're done. No carrying the helmet around while walking. No leaving it rolling around on dirty surfaces. And most importantly, no giving thieves a free opportunity. Most petty thieves avoid anything that requires tools or effort. So a simple lock is often enough to make them walk away. Hidden helmet locks are very affordable, usually costing no more than a few cups of coffee. Yet they offer long-term comfort, convenience, and peace of mind. Number 10. Hidden Kill Switch Toggle. In the world of motorcycle anti-theft, everyone talks about U-locks, disc locks, smart keys, or GPS trackers. But there is one upgrade so simple that many riders overlook it, even though its real-world effectiveness is far greater than its few-dollar price: the hidden kill switch. This is a classic trick among long-time riders, yet it's rarely mentioned because it isn't cool, has no app, and doesn't blink with colorful LEDs. The idea is very simple. You install a small hidden switch that cuts the ignition circuit, placed somewhere only you know. When you leave the bike, you flip this switch off. Even if a thief manages to pick the lock, break the ignition, hotwire the cables, or try to jump power directly, the motorcycle will remain completely silent because the ignition source has been cut internally. For the typical opportunistic thief you encounter in parking lots, sidewalks, or residential areas, this is almost an impossible barrier to overcome. The best part is the stealth. No dangling wires, no bulky device, and nothing visible that might spark a thief's curiosity. You simply choose a clever hiding spot: under the seat, behind the side panel, near the steering head. And from that moment on, this tiny switch becomes an invisible shield. Nothing is absolute, but a hidden kill switch makes most thieves give up within seconds. These mods may not make your motorcycle stand out on the street, but they help you feel your bike in the way that truly matters: smoother, more controlled, and more reliable every single day. Now it's your turn. Have you tried any upgrades from this list? Or do you have your own secret mod that you believe every rider should know about? Share it in the comments. Sometimes one small tip from you can help someone ride more safely. If this video gave you a few fun ideas for your weekend garage time, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next stories. See you next time.